Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Little Lickle Bite Ideas. It is Thursday, December 23rd. We're 2 days away from Christmas. I hope that you have done most of your Christmas shopping by now. I am Doreed Whitlock. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for Samuel Fields Consulting Group. And I am so delighted to welcome you to yet another episode, our second to last episode in 2021. And interestingly, this is our 14th episode. Where did the time go? Today, I have an interesting panel of experts, small business owners, a hybrid of both. And I'm delighted to invite you to be here. Please call your friends, your family, share the live, let people know that we're on. And we have some interesting information to share with you and some knowledge. We're still celebrating the gift of knowledge all month throughout December. Let me start by introducing our guests today. First, our CEO, Megan Samuel Fields. Megan, how are you today?
Good afternoon, Doreed. I am well. Good afternoon to our listeners. Glad to have you.
Fantastic.
And viewers.
Yes. And of course, we are featuring motivational self-help authors of Antiguan descent. And I'm pleased to welcome Ambassador Joan Underwood to our virtual stage. Joan, welcome. We look forward to hearing so much from you.
Good afternoon to the Samuel sisters and to everyone else who is joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you.
Great. Welcome, Joan. And next up, we have someone I've known for a lot of years. And she has some exciting information to share with us about her new business. Don't know how new it is anymore, but she's doing well with her business. I've always known her to be an artist, and now she is actually marketing her products. Sally Davis, my high school colleague, welcome to the SFCG stage.
Good afternoon, ladies. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners. Looking forward to this afternoon. It's lovely to be here.
Great. Okay, our next guest. I don't know if he's on yet, but let's check and see. Do we have Dave Ray as yet logged in?
Not as yet.
Okay, well, I know we had our times kind of switched up. So Dave should be joining us momentarily, but we're going to jump right into it. We have so much to discuss today. And I'm going to start off with you, Megan, to set the stage. Tell us what's happening with SFCG. What are your plans for Christmas? Bring us up to date.
All right. So at SFCG, we're always thinking of something new, something different. And so we are still in the little gift ideas area where we are encouraging our buyers to shop local and buy from our little gift businesses. And the beauty about it is if you shop with our businesses, our little gift businesses, you have the opportunity to win prizes. So I encourage you, go on our website, www.samuelfieldsconsulting.com, and you can get all the details there and participate. So the other thing that we're focusing on is what are we going to be doing for January, which is just around the corner. So we are planning something really big. We are calling it our Financial Wellness Conference and a FinFet. Don't know if you've ever heard of a FinFet, but you know what? Accountants and finance professionals sometimes get a bad rap about being very stiff and a little bit geeky, but we can't let our hair down. And so we're going to mix education with fun. And so January is going to be exciting, and you'll hear more about it as we put the finishing touches on. So that's what we're doing. From a home front, what am I doing for Christmas? My boys are home, thank God. So we are having a quiet-ish Christmas. My mom is going to be coming and a few other friends, and we are going to just have some fun food and fellowship. So that's what I'm doing.
Yep, I think for a lot of us, it's going to be, even though, the curfews and state of emergency has been lifted and all those other things. I think we've been in such a frozen state of mind that I think most people are just going to take it easy, thaw out, and just be grateful for what we have. Joan,
I
how
think the
about
older
you? What are
folks.
your plans for Christmas?
So I'm in Antigua right now. So that's exciting. I get to spend Christmas with my Antiguan family. So as opposed to the Bajan family. But my anniversary is actually shortly after Christmas. So my husband is
Nice.
going to be joining me here. And we had a destination wedding in St. Lucia. So there are folks in Antigua who haven't even met him yet. So we're going to be having a little celebration here in Antigua. So all COVID protocols observed, but we're really excited about having our, within the 25 limit. So I hope no one is going to come and try and shut us down for violating restrictions. So
Make sure
yes,
you measure twice, count twice, and be careful. You know how this can be.
yes, yes. So yeah, so that's the big plan. So I'm excited about that.
That sounds great. Sally,
Nice.
how about you? I know that you're working hard. I see your posts with the artisans traveling and other
Yeah.
things. What are your plans for Christmas?
The last 2 weeks have been crazy, so there's not been a lot of Christmas planning going on in my house. The bags of drinks there, and we're the family spending Christmas at my brother's home on Christmas Day, and fingers crossed, knees crossed, everything crossed that my kids make it home next week from Toronto,
Oh,
and um, and my future daughter-in-law, and that's all I need.
oh.
I'm happy. So I'm really looking forward to being with family on Christmas Day. It's always really special, and we all cook and get together and have a good time. So
Great.
that gives me a lot of peace and fulfills my heart. So I'm good.
Nice, nice.
No, that is great. That is great. My daughters are home as well. And of course, they're
Awesome.
catching up with family and friends. I don't know whether they're going or coming, but they're happy to be home. I'm happy to have them. And,
Nice.
we're
Nice.
all just trying to adjust to this new normal and
Yeah.
Yeah.
just all very grateful that we have the opportunities that we still have. Life could be
Yes.
so much
Yes.
worse.
So
Yes.
much worse. Yeah.
And that,
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
so many of us don't have the people that we used to have in our lives because of COVID. So I think, gratitude is definitely the modus operandi for the system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I still, no sign of Dave Reyes yet. I will probably have to jump out and check on him at some point if he doesn't come in. But I say let's get this ball rolling. And Joan, I'm so excited for you about the launch of your new book. Not so new anymore because I see all of your posts, and I keep saying to Megan, wow, Joan is killing it. I'm so proud of the strides that you've made. And, I know you're a good student and clearly you're following all of the recommendations, the strategies that any new author should follow. So any success that you have is well deserved because I see your hard work and your efforts in promoting your book. So I haven't actually read your book and I promised to order it and I'll do it before the end of the year. But I quite like the way you break it down, have a handbook. But I'm not here to talk about your book. You're here to talk about your book yourself. So Joan, tell us about your book and I love the name, The Manager's First Aid. Is it
Kit,
handbook or
kit,
kit?
kit.
Kit.
It's
Okay.
manager's first aid kit.
Yes, and I
And
know there's a colon and there's more. But tell us
right.
about your book, how it's been going. First of all, tell us the inspiration behind it and why persons should purchase your book.
All right. So the book, yeah, there's quite the story behind the story. So Manager's First Aid Kit has been something that's been on my to-do list literally for years. However, with everything else that was going on, I never had the time to really devote to it, to sit still and focus and get the book done. Then came COVID, right? So with the lockdown, I had nothing but time on my hands. And so I decided, you know what? And again, it's a mindset thing. Instead of worrying about the things that I cannot control or influence, focus on what you can control and influence. And what I could control was devoting the time to getting the book done using you said they say a crisis, you should never waste a crisis, right? So the crisis where a lot of my consulting work essentially dried up overnight once the region went on lockdown. And so instead of bemoaning that, I decided, hey, that book that you've been putting off, sit down and get it done. So I literally, and one of the wonderful things about this journey is that if you don't know that something is difficult to do, you can do it without any challenge. Because I thought, hey, I set myself a 3-month timeline for writing the book. Nobody told me that was crazy because, I was by myself. I was locked in a house by myself, not talking to anybody about it. And so I had to make a plan and I decided, okay, I'm going to give myself 90 days to write the book and then another 90 days to get the editing and, all the production work done. And started working on the book in May, June, and set a goal to launch it in December. Now that's insane, but I didn't know it was insane at the time. And so I did it. So this month actually makes my book baby a year old. It
Oh,
was
Oh, wow.
congratulations.
Yes, it was
Nice.
launched on the 10th of December 2020.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, the name now, Manager's First Aid Kit, it has a dual meaning. So every household should have a first aid kit in it. Why? It's to help to prevent small problems from becoming big problems. So managers need a book like this to help them navigate the challenges that you typically encounter. The primary audience is new and aspiring managers. But what we found since we launched the book is that entrepreneurs have found it particularly helpful and, for obvious reasons, because they do all the things that managers do, right? And also, veteran managers have responded extremely well to the book. There's some refresher things in there, and there's some things that they never quite grasped or understood or had explained to them in that way. And so it's resonating with the primary target audience as well as some significant secondary audiences. So that's the first meaning in terms of a first aid kit, tackle small problems before they become big and you need to end up in the hospital. The second thing is it's the first aid that you should look to when you have a problem. It's the first
Mm.
thing you should pick up. So that's the double entendre there in terms of the name of the book. And in terms of the motivation behind writing the book, I'm an executive coach, and a performance coach. And I'm also a consultant. And what I found is that I kept hearing the same challenges coming up over and over again with my coaching clients, as well as with my corporate clients. When I go in, people are struggling mightily. And I say all the time, the struggle is real, but so are the solutions. But there tends to be a sense of isolation. You think you're the only one struggling with this, and you don't necessarily want to admit to somebody that you're struggling. And so I figured, listen, I can't coach everyone, but I can put a book out there that everyone who is part of the struggle can use it and help navigate the difficult terrain.
Excellent.
That is such a moving story. So motivation. I mean, it's so motivating to hear that some of the aspirations and the goals that we set sometimes. Sometimes crises like COVID really propel us to just put things in motion. And sometimes that's just what we need.
Yeah.
Taking that
Absolutely.
first step.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, not even paying attention to what the norms are and standards in terms of launching your product and relying on your own capabilities, because
Yeah.
the person who said it was crazy to launch a book in 3 months, they didn't know Joan Underwood. So it's sometimes, we just have to ignore what some of the norms and industry standards are and rely on our inner strengths and our focus and what we know we can do and
Mhm.
just get it going. And any deadlines, any barriers, I always say most of them are self imposed. So kudos to
It's
you,
true.
Joan, for having the courage, the motivation, the stick to itiveness to really set deadlines and meet them.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to move over to Sally because you guys are like, if you look at it in the business sense, you're probably two sides of the coin in terms of mindsets. Sally, in your business, of course, like Joan outlined, you have to be your manager, chief cook, bottle washer, everything. But most importantly, as an entrepreneur, you have to continue to be creative. You
Yes.
can't get stuck. You're growing. You have products, and I've seen your expansion as well, where you've gone from, I describe you as someone who um, has mastered the art of visual communications. There's your art, there's your photography, there's your crafting, there's your what was the other thing that we talked about? Your art, your photography,
Well, I
and
combine narrative and photography, so I create quotes and put them to my
Yes.
photographs.
okay, so tell us about
Inspirational
your
quotes.
journey, Sally, because I'm just, I mean, I don't have, I can talk creativity, I can appreciate it, but when it comes to using your hands and putting things together, I'd probably be telling you where to move the button, where to put the thread, but in terms of getting it done, that's not me. So I have utmost respect for people like you, and I've always known you to be a creative person. So tell us about your journey.
Wow. I want to say that I've always been creative, but it went to sleep. I became dormant for a lot of years when I was working in banking. And then I had a life changing event in my life, and I turned back to writing. I used to write a lot. And then I started taking photographs again, and I started drawing. I do black ink drawing. I have an aunt that does amazing black ink drawings, and I used to doodle. And then I challenged myself to make them bigger than just doodles. And so from there, I started making my images larger. And I also started getting more serious about the photographs. I bought a camera, and I'm nature driven. So everything I do is driven by the outdoors and by life experiences, basically. So I people watch a lot. I also pay attention to information that comes at me, whether through conversation, experience, watching. So I create quotes, and then I choose the photographs that I have and I apply them and put them together. I put a lot of things up on Instagram. And out of that came my calendar. I started doing a calendar in 2018. I didn't do one in 2019, but I've done one in 2020 and again this year. And then this year I published a journal. I finally decided, okay, stop wasting time. This is what you really want to do and get it done. Just do it. So I challenged myself to get it done for this Christmas season. And then I got to the printers and worked along with this amazing lady at Signs and Impressions, and I got that done. And then I wanted to expand what I was creating and do something different. And I saw I keep coffee bean bags, and I decided that okay, I can make wall hangings out of those. So I started doing that, and I've done sun catchers. My mom used to have a chandelier, and she broke it down and gave me all the pieces. So I do sun catchers and add these crystal beads at the end of them, so you can hang them on your veranda and your window, and they catch the sunlight and they bounce off. And I sometimes do human interest stories and post them to my website. So a lot of what I do, and similarly with my um, decorations and stuff, they're all from nature. I use mahogany pods, I use the casuarina pods, I use soursop pods. And it's a challenge because, as you say, you have to keep creating and coming up with different things that you think
Mhm.
people might be interested in. And also, you try to do things that are not going to be too expensive out of your pocket so that you keep your costs down and increase your revenue. Basically, that is what I try to do. So I enjoy it. I really
Nice.
enjoy
That's
what I do.
wonderful, Sally.
And I've seen Sally's her calendars. They're awesome. Very,
Thank
very
you.
nice.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Dave,
That's great.
Dave has joined us.
Well, I see Dave Ray, the beauty surgeon, has joined us. And Dave, you came in right on time because I just gave the other two guests an opportunity to tell us about their journey. And we were just saying that in being an entrepreneur, you have to balance so many things, but there are two sides of the coin: the logical side of the business, where you have to look at your bottom line, you have to operate within certain constraints to make sure that your products meet certain standards, and there's so many issues that you have to manage and to balance. But at the same time, you bring a certain sense of logic to the business, but you have to continue to be creative. So, Dave, tell us about your journey and tell us, how you have been able to balance logic and creativity with the many things that you're involved in.
Well, hello to everyone. Am I being heard?
Yes.
Yes, we can
Great.
Loud
hear
and
you.
clear.
Let me just say hi first to Lady Joan Underwood. How are you?
Hi,
Congrats
Dave
on
Ray.
all the wonderful works you're doing. I've been following you, trust me. And Sally Davis, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
And
Dave.
I know we have to do all the private talk there. I am so happy and enthused to be the only male. I'm always I'm the first of everything, right? The only male in this group. And as an entrepreneur and as a contributor to this group, I'm really happy that you guys invited me to be a part of this group. And I can stand on my own. I'm quite good on that. So, Megan Fields, I must tell you that I left out the Samuel for a reason. But
That's all right.
Megan Fields, I am really excited for you. And this program is doing wonders. I'm following all of the social media utterances, and they are really phenomenal.
Great.
As you guys know, I started my business. I mixed up the time. I'm sorry for joining late. I really thought it was 4:45 my time. And so when the read hollered to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. I was ready for 4:45 New York time. So sorry about
Right.
that. So I didn't get a chance to powder my nose and so on, but I hope I'm okay.
That's all right.
I started my journey in business in 1989 when I opened my first salon in Antigua. It was a bold move because first I was one of the only males who would have been doing it on such a large scale, and I employed a staff of 6 people with hope and faith that it would do well, not having a proper system in place at the time. Luckily, we were successful as we wiggled through, the ins and outs of running business. I happened to have put myself uh, on a handbook from another company that I was able to doctor back then and make it my staff handbook in 1989. And that was our guide for running the salon, how we did employment, understanding how the Department of Labor works, all that kind of stuff. So that we did in the initial stages. Matter of fact, we had a lawsuit. I don't know if it's a lawsuit, a challenge from one of the unions in Antigua, and the unions was represented by I can actually say the Honorable Baldwin Spencer. He wasn't Honorable Baldwin Spencer at that time. So when he brought the issue to me, because I had terminated one of the employees, he came to me and I showed him all of the letters of reprimand, warning. He says, "What do you do? where young man you get all this stuff from? So I just showed him, look, I was ready. So the girl had no case, obviously. Matter of fact, we kept her on longer than we should. That's telling you how important it is to have documentation to run your business. And I did that from, I was what, 20 maybe, when I opened my first salon. Moving to the United States, I came up here and I opened a salon, went back to school and opened a salon. And so far, I've run about 9 salons since then. And I have my own product lines. And I'm an author. One of the things that I've learned in business, when you are creative, you cannot let anyone, any chicken, any fowl, I say fowl in Antigua, stop your eagle spirit from climbing. So sometimes you have to do things on your own and let people follow you. And that's what I've done for a very long time. I believe that if you have a passion, yes, you need direction, but you need to go ahead with your passion and get others to join on the team. Now, you have logical people who will tell you the do's and don'ts of what you're doing, and they're very critical to your success. But you have to take risks if you really want to be creative, if you want to be successful. You have to take risks. You have to go out on a limb and do things that people think are not doable. And I have been doing that pretty much all my life. I've had some failures, but I don't call them failures. I call them learning experiences to move on to the next step. So if this thing doesn't work, I try something else, or I shift the way I've done it and bring it back to the public. And that is some of the tips that I can give as it relates to balancing logic and creativity. I always say that the creative person runs in the fast lane, the logical person runs in the middle or the slow lane, and they create balance because they travel at the speed limit. The other ones travels, way past the speed limit. But that logical person bring you back to say, okay, we see where you're trying to go. I can help you get there if you just follow the rules of the game, because there's some rules that you have to follow. You have to get a good advisor. You have to get a good tax accountant. You have to get a good attorney. All those things you need to get. And it may seem to you like it's a big deal and it's expensive, but it's really not, because you can do a bartering system. For example, when I got my first advice from the bank, I had the bank manager become one of my clients, and we just did all of his haircuts for free. And what I had him do is just give us advice. The same thing with our accountant. We just bartered. So you don't always have to actually have cash. If you have worth and you have value, you can use your value to offset the cost that it would be in terms of dollars. So that's some of the things you can do as a business person. I hope that makes sense, because you don't know everything and you need someone who can guide you. You need someone like Megan, who is not only an attorney, but she's an accountant, and she will have the skills to tell you, maybe I can give her a shampoo and give her a facial, whatever, right? I hope she would take it. But, all right. So those are some of the things. I mean, the thing is, you need money to purchase those things. So if you can get them without actually having the cash, if you can give me a place to rent for free, like for example, now I have a person who is my social media person who's starting in January. I can't afford to pay her. So I found out her car note is $295 a month. I'm going to pay her car note. She said, yay, I'll do all your social media work for you. So those are some of the things you can do to get people to follow your dream without spending lots of money. So I hope I'm answering some of the questions there. I know I'm going on a long time, but you can stop me when you want. Doreen, you have to stop me.
You're muted.
You're mute.
You're muted.
You're mute. You're
You're
muted.
muted. You're
We
muted.
can't hear you.
Doreed, we can't hear you. Oh my, and
Oh,
she's not
dear.
she clearly isn't hearing us. You're muted.
We can't hear you.
You're muted.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I had some noise outside and put myself on mute and did not realize that I didn't put myself back. I apologize.
Yeah. So I said you could
I
stop me.
was saying, Megan, please monitor the board, and let's see if we have any questions. We want to make sure that we can address all of the queries, acknowledge our guests with their comments. We're always so grateful to have them. Right. Joan, I find this information so interesting because Dave is talking about the fast lane, and based on his theory, you should really, and write in your book, you had no business in the fast lane. You should have either been in the slow lane or the middle lane. But it looks like once again you have, bucked all of the trends because you were able to get your book done way ahead of the standards set out by book writers. And so, I think it just pretty much falls into everything that we've been saying. You have to balance so many different aspects of your business when you're an entrepreneur. So Joan, even though you are the leadership coach and you're the one typically bringing logic, we see that you do have some speed in you, and you do take risks, and you were able to lean on that side of you, the risk-taking, fast lane side, and here you are with a book turned out in less than 3 months. But that's what this show is all about. We're going to come back to this discussion, but we want to take a moment to recognize all of the businesses who have joined this exciting journey with us with the 20 little gift ideas, an idea that Megan and I brainstormed on and immediately took it to market. And it's been amazing, the kind of publicity that we're getting. In the first year, we're very happy with the response, and it's something that we plan to do annually. So Megan, are there any questions or comments at this point?
No, nothing as yet. Guess they're getting warmed up.
Okay, so we're going to play our ad with the 20 Little Bite Ideas. And when we come back, we're going to continue this
I don't think Doreed hears us.
Phenomenal conversation.
Okay, Doreed,
Yes.
are you hearing us?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, Dave wanted to say something.
Oh, go right ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I wanted to add here that in Joan's case, she can be in the fast lane because Joan has a plethora of content. Joan has developed herself over years. So it's not like somebody who's just starting out. So all the material that Joan has to put into a book, Joan can find the time in 3 months to condense that, as opposed to someone who is new to the field. I mean, Joan is a walking university, so she has so much information that it would behoove her to be able to get that done quickly. That's the difference. So although she may be the logical person, she can be in the fast lane because she has the content. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. Dave, I apologize. You sound a little low to me compared to everyone else. So sorry that I was talking over you. Could not hear you, but once I shut up, I could hear you very well. Yep. So thank you for that. Thank you for that interjection. We're going to queue up our ad for 20 Little Bite Ideas. And listen, if you're experiencing shopper's block, or you just haven't had the opportunity to go out shopping, or you are just at a loss as to how you gift yourself or someone on your list, we have some great ideas that you can definitely tap into. Locally made products. We've been talking about gratitude and changing the way we live and shifting to the new normal. This may be an opportunity for you to really look around you and to help, to support someone who is running a small business. Let's all come together, support small businesses, and collectively help to rebuild the economy. So we're going to see the ad, acknowledge our companies, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion about logic versus creativity.
I'm not sure. Is it queuing up?
Okay. Is Aaliyah ready for us?
Christmas time again. Who no wanna add, who no get the best. Christmas time again. All of my family, all of my friends. Christmas time again. Yeah. Fully Christmas time again. Fully Christmas time again. Fully Christmas. feel like my big head spiff. Watch how the gal them hips then tick. Everybody love when you bring them gift. Jump in on my car, shift and drift. Every gal them have to roll out. Round their country they a roadhouse. Every store have a soul out. My mama give her money fall out. Christmas time again. Who no want the hard, who no get the best. Christmas time again. Meet all of my family, all of my friends. Christmas time again. Yeah. Fully Christmas time again. Fully Christmas time again. Fully Christmas. Boy, the best time of the year. When friends and family appear. Yes, we together show love, we a cheer. Ham and turkey, you know, half a deer. Under the Christmas tree, gifts them wrap for the kids plenty. Everybody nice and feeling happy. The team work hard and we say more money. Christmas time again. You know what I
Okay, I love that music. I love that music. Yep. So, for those of you, if the names went too quickly and you couldn't quite read it, you can go to our website, samuelfieldsconsulting.com. There's a banner on the first page. It tells you list of businesses. You click on that bar and it will take you to the complete list of our 20 Lickle gift ideas, those businesses that are being featured, and also our bonus authors and motivation authors who are self-help and motivational authors of Antiguan and Barbudan descent, who you can also purchase their books and gift someone. The gift of knowledge is still always one of the most lasting gifts that you can provide to anyone.
Absolutely.
So, Mika, before we get back into our discussion, do you want to give us your thoughts on this whole issue of logic versus creativity? I would imagine you often have to bring some logic to a lot of your clients, especially small businesses.
It's a story of my life. And it's so funny because the way we were raised, and I think all of us, the way we were raised, the focus growing up is, you got to go to school, you got to do your studies, you got to play by the rules, basically. And I did that. But I always had a playful side. I never thought of it as creative until more recently. But what I'm realizing is in a business, especially if you are the owner of your business, meaning you're the entrepreneur, you really need both. You really need both, and you really do need a balance of both. So it's not enough, in my mind, to be an accountant or to be a lawyer or to be an entrepreneur. It's not enough just to have that label. I think when you break it down, you need to have the expertise. So yes, you need to be able to speak and perform at the level that whatever it is you're doing in your business. So for me, I need to keep abreast of all the accounting issues. I need to keep abreast of all the legal issues. But when I'm dealing with a client, I don't view it as I am just the accountant. I'm there to help solve a problem. And sometimes it's combining, yes, you have the knowledge, but you have to find creative ways to solve the problem. And, I think it makes it more fun. And fun is one of my middle names. So in doing a business and running a business, you really always have to tap into that creative side. And we are all creative. I've come to that realization. Yep. We're all creative. We just have different ways of expressing it. And once we tap into that, and as Dave says, you have the middle lane, but the fast lane, and one will balance out the other. Because sometimes you need to go fast. You can't just stay in the slow lane all the time. But you can't go fast all the time, and you can't go slow all the time. There are times when you have to go at a steady pace, or sometimes really fast and sometimes really slow. So combining the two, I think they're key to any business that you're in. if you want it to be successful. And that's what we do at SFCG. Combine all our expertise. We have a ton of experts, I should say, in our group. And but at the same time, we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of creativity that we try to roll out to our clients.
That's great. Joan, I'm coming back to you because it's Christmas and we expect gold, frankincense, and myrrh. However, I quite like your new initiative online where you've been bringing these golden nuggets of information. I'm not sure if it's weekly or bi-weekly, but I see them pretty often. And so I want to give you an opportunity to tell us about your golden nuggets because I think they're quite inspirational and a good way to always remind people of how to stay in your lane while at the same time being your best self and really pursuing your dream. So tell us about your golden nuggets.
All right. So I'm glad you asked this because the golden nugget story gives me the opportunity to show how important partnership is. Right. And we've been talking about balance. And I would like to introduce into that conversation the suggestion that you don't have to do it all. I love Dave's story about the bartering, right? And as entrepreneurs, whether we're on the creative side or we're more on the business logic side, we need to be very clear on what need we're meeting. So when I'm wearing my consulting hat, I'm there in problem solving mode. The clients have a problem. They don't necessarily know the answers. They bring me in because they expect me to provide answers for them. When I'm in coaching mode, I choose to believe that my coaching clients have the answers within them. My job is to ask the right questions to help them to surface the solutions. So what am I doing? I am helping to alleviate a pain point. That's my logical work. I help to alleviate pain points. For people who are more creative, so like Sally with her art, she's creating an experience that brings something into someone's life. We need to be crystal clear on what our purpose is to ensure that it has alignment, right? And we leverage our talents, our knowledge, skills, abilities, or competencies in order to do so. Now, there's some things that I need to accomplish that I might be able to learn how to do it, but it's not going to be a superpower for me, right? Because it's something that doesn't come naturally for me. But there are people out there for whom this comes naturally. So I have a decision point. Do I go through the learning curve and, maybe my best ambition is to be okay at it? Or do I engage with persons who have this as a superpower so that, together we can go faster, we can go further? So the question was about golden nuggets. It turns out that when I launched the book, I live in Barbados now. And so there's a morning show there. We have a similar show here in Antigua. It's called Morning Barbados. And they have a segment where they feature Bajan authors. And so my husband is Bajan, so I claim in it. So I contacted them and asked if I could, come on and talk about my book. And, they agreed. I gifted them a copy of the book in advance so they would have the opportunity to have a look at it. And the host of the show fell in love with the book. So not only did I get an interview to announce that I was launching my book, during that interview, he says, I love this book. I love you. We have to work together. And fast forward, I now have a weekly segment on Morning Barbados. Right? No, in terms of getting creative with that, I then said, I'm going to repurpose this stuff. So I was like, can you guys give me all the videos, every week when we're done? And so the segment typically is 15 to 20 minutes. A lot of people aren't going to watch a 15 to 20 minute interview every week. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to extract the core idea from each segment and package it into a golden nugget that you can watch in 3 to 5 minutes and get the gist. And then if you want to take a deeper dive, you can go and watch the full segment, which is available on my YouTube channel. And so that's how the golden nugget came into being, right? So talk about a little idea that has blown up into something big. Because Dave spoke about having content. I am just racking up content because of something that I didn't even have to pay for. Talk about bartering. I get this segment every week. And it's not just shown in Barbados because they stream. So this is available globally that I get literally every week. He picks a chapter and we spend 15, 20 minutes talking about the chapter and how we can apply the lessons contained to life.
That is amazing.
Nice.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I'm saying amazing.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing, Joan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they love the accent. I think that's part of it. Not that your knowledge is great, but I think it's probably so refreshing to have a different accent on television. I'm sure it helps, but congratulations with that. Let me scoot on over to Sally. Let's bring you back. We haven't heard your voice in a few minutes. Sally, tell us what's next for Butterfly
Kisses for the Soul.
Kisses for the Soul. I just had a block for a minute.
That's okay.
What's
I
next
have
for
them all the
Butterfly
time.
Kisses for the Soul?
Strangely enough, I have been toying with the idea of doing a coffee table book, and I have people that have been following me for a long time, and basically they're encouraging and have been trying to inspire me to get this done. And I think that is going to be my goal for 2022, as well as I also have a lot of people that live overseas and want access to my calendars, to the journal, to the things that I create. And one of the challenges that I face here is that it's so expensive to try and ship anything anywhere. Some of the items are really small. So I have to know, I'm going to start trying to find a way and a means of getting that done. Because it's when you have people that are messaging you and saying, Sally, I want this, and you're getting 4 or 5 messages and in a day, and you're like, oh gosh, I have to say no. And then so I need to find a way and a means of being able to satisfy that other niche market that isn't Antiguan and isn't local, but also has an interest in having something that is Antiguan and that they find inspiring, to have. So I have a few challenges of my own that I'm trying to set goals for 2022 in that regard. But it's going to be a challenge.
I don't know if it's going to be such a difficult challenge when you have people like Dave Ray in your circle. Because trust me, if there's a way to do it, Dave has given me so many ideas in the past. Because I mean, his brain is always working overtime in terms of how you can expand. But Dave, we're going to let you bring us the frankincense. You bring all the beauty products. We haven't had a chance to talk about your products. First of all, before we start talking about your products, Dave, do you think Vistaprint could help Sally?
Yes,
I
there are
mean,
many.
if she had quantities that she wanted to print.
Funny enough,
if she has an agent or someone
when she says that she
can
has
probably
challenge,
send them for printing.
Yes, when she said that she had challenge, I was going to tell her, no, you don't have challenges. You just
I don't think so at all.
The right person, because I have a printing company as well. So it's called Everdial Publications.
Jordan love that.
He's like Santa Claus.
I know Dave will have the answer.
Which you could pull up.
So Everdial is my name spelled backwards, so it's in the reverse. So Everdial Publications. You can look us up on Google, and you just can email me at daveryenterprises@gmail.com, and I can help you navigate that whole system. Having your stuff shipped, all that stuff we can work out. So there's no challenge there. There are flights going from Antigua to different parts of the world every day. You have no challenge, believe me.
That's
okay,
what
Sally,
Joan was saying.
I told you.
Yeah,
have no
partnership.
challenge.
Just
But you know,
find,
I'm going to add something to what Joan said. You know, when I published my first book, I think it was 2009 or 8. I remember I launched it at the premiere Orlando. It was a huge beauty show, and there was a gentleman who I've always gone to his conferences. He's out of Chicago. I mean, top. You can look him up, John Amico, really top product in America. And when I published the book, I ran up to him at the show and I said, John, I published my first book. He said, oh, wow. He said, here's your book. And I had his name autographed. I had his name. I'd already autographed it for him and his wife. And he says, how much did it cost? I said, John, how can I charge you for a book? You've done so much for the world. I'm giving you this book. I'm gifting you this book. And he said, you're gifting me a book? I said, yeah. I mean, it's $30. Not a big deal. This was in June, first week of June. By August, I got a call from his secretary saying, John was so impressed with your gift and the read of your book, he wants to fly you to Chicago to his conference in September. And it was a conference called Chicago. And he said, we want you to speak. We're going to fly you there. We're going to give you, we have a shuttle to pick you up, paying for your hotel. You sell as much books. You have a class and teach about your book, and you sell all the profits are yours. And I'm just showing how from that door, I mean, I think I sold that weekend, I sold over 80 something copies of my first book. And that is just showing you how when you gift the right people, the right people, and I'm saying the right people. I'm not saying you can't gift small people, but you have to know who to gift your books to or your products to in order to get some residual income from it. And I'll give you an example. When I went to a restaurant once with a very high-end, you can say wealthy person. And when the bill came, I paid the bill. Now, I didn't have much money on my account. I was hoping my credit card went through. And I paid the bill. And he said, you're paying? I said, no, this is on me. You know, that particular person opened so many doors for me because you see, those people think that you want from them. So you have to do the reverse. It's reverse psychology. I'm sure Joan can teach you all about this. But you have to find ways to get your message across by doing some of the unthinkable. You know, paying for the bill for somebody who is famous. Like, really? So they will look at you differently. You're not a taker. That's what they think. But it's all creating a bond, right? With that person or whomever it is. So that's what I want to add. Back to the beauty products. So I have a line of products called Beauty Works. Beauty Works it has 13 SKUs in it, but I'm only promoting 3 SKUs today. Actually 4. And they look like this. So I normally sell them in smaller bottles, but I've stopped because having them in this size, about 32-ounce bottles, is more effective, is more economical. So clients are buying them from me. People are buying them to use with their whole family. It's like a family package. So it comes with a shampoo called a Kerosoid Shampoo. You know, keratin and soy products are what's going now. A lot of the ingredients are what we have in Antigua. They have coconut, mango, pineapple, all that kind of stuff. Sea kelp in them. This is the shampoo. This is the conditioner. Beauty Works. And you can go to my website to get it. And this is the leave-in conditioner. Now, when you purchase this line, I give you the leave-in conditioner in a 2-ounce travel size that you can always use to refill this bottle. So I give you this complimentary if you buy the package. We also have a new product we just developed. As a matter of fact, Dorit and I created the name for this product. She doesn't want to tell you that. But this one is called Snap to Sleek. So this is a product, if your hair takes long to dry, you spray it in your hair. Not only is it drying your hair, cuts your drying time in half, but you also add all these wonderful emollients and vitamin-enriched ingredients to your hair. So this is called From Snap to Sleek. So Dorit and I stayed up one night. Dorit is very creative, by the way. And we created that we're going to create the Snap to Sleek. Just snap your fingers. If you look, the logo is a snap, right? With like a star coming from it. So this also is a part of our product line. So this makes my SKU for this product line 14 products in this line. We have mousses, treatments. But this line, I'm going to tell you right now, I sell this line in Antigua so much. There's so many people who purchase this from me. I'm sure you guys can go to my Facebook page and see people ordering it, trying to get to order it. Oh my gosh. I'm sure that's an order coming in there. I'm sure. Yeah. So
I am sure.
So as a matter of fact,
get your products lined up because I'm going to double back to you.
Wait, but I'm going to tell you, when Dorit called me,
product, Sally. Continue, Jay.
When Dorit called me to say that you're on the call, I was actually packaging products to ship out. Just so you know. Okay.
So Dave, how do we, if I wanted to get your products in Antigua, I just go straight to your website?
Go to my website, but you can also shoot me an email at davereenterprises@gmail.com, and I will tell you who the agents are. I have 2 agents.
in
I don't want to
Antigua?
mention their names on here because,
That's fine.
for personal reasons. So
Okay.
I don't want to fight with one another. So I will
That's fine.
tell
And I
you who
think
the
that's
agents are. Once you email me at davereenterprises with an
okay.
S on the end at gmail.com, I'll be able to tell you
Okay.
where you can pick them up. That's only
Because
one product line. There are 2 of them, but go
because
ahead.
our listeners may want to know as well. So.
They trust me. They'll want to know.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
Dave, thank you so much for that. Sally, do you have any products
I
that
actually
you want to show
do.
us?
Yes, I would. And
Yeah. Dave, are
I
you
would love
done?
to
I'm
say
sorry.
that-
I see you still reaching down into the box.
Yeah, you said you come back. I have remember
Okay.
it's 2 product lines. You have the
Okay,
male
great.
products
So
as well.
let's see what Sally has, because we like the visual communications. We want to see what you have.
Okay, so my price range is anywhere from $5 to $150, $170, depending on what it is you want. So this last year I started doing these. They're the pods, mahogany pods, and they're combined with shells. And
Oh,
this
nice.
is actually in the center here, a soursop pod. The soursop produces a pod, a green pod. It looks almost like a mansion, but when it drops and they dry hard like stone. And they're amazing to work with. And I use a lot of shells as well. I collect shells any chance I get. So that was $20. This one similarly is
Oh,
also
that's
it's a
cute.
decoration. It's a Christmas decoration. Shells on shells. This one is 15. Then I have the casuarina, a packet of casuarina seeds. You know the trees that grow down at Fort James and they drop
Yes.
those things that hurt your feet? This is what this is. And I add little shells and bow, and so you can get a packet of 3 for $5. And then I was telling you about the coffee bean bags. So actually, let me show you. This one is my favorite. I've added coral, brown coral.
Oh,
from the
that's cute.
and shells on it, and it has a handle, and you would just hang it from the wall, on the wall from this. And then there's my journal. This is $50.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's full of inspirational quotes that are written by me and images like this one. This is a plumbago.
And this is all your photography, right?
Yes, it is. And these are especially for you. Have a beautiful day and smile. So it has about 16 images, and after each image there are 5 blank pages that you can write on. And then I have 1 page that's a breathing space interspersed. And on those breathing spaces, it just gives you a moment to do just that, breathe. This one says, when it falls, it renews and sustains life. Exhale. And it's raindrops on, the picture is taken from the inside of a car. And so it's raindrops on a windscreen.
Oh, wow.
And then there's the calendar. I do a desktop and a hanging calendar. So, and each image has a quote for each month as well. So, and the hanging one is bigger, and I dedicate these to my mom now. So the front of the calendar has something that has to do with my mom. My mom loved hummingbirds. Last year I did tea saucers, teacups and saucers. So there's a yellow warbler. There's a white king egret. And then my black ink drawings. So this is actually $120, and it's black ink with color. I'm trying to do that so that I can get the camera, but it's a little hard to coordinate. So this
we're seeing it.
Gloss,
right there.
and it has color in it. And then this one is the palm of a hand. It's actually my hand. And what I do is that I fill it in. Um, it's hand drawn with black ink. So it has all kinds of things in it. It has in
Very creative.
flowers, it has in a human, it has in butterflies and different things. And this is a pelican. This is one of my photographs
Nice.
flying across the ocean. So there are a variety of things, nicks and knacks, that everybody has an opportunity to purchase, and the prices vary. This is also another decoration with sea glass and shells. This one is $15.
Sally, quick question for you. Is your merchandise in stores anywhere? Or is it
No,
all virtual?
I do. I advertise on, well, as you know, I do a lot of posts on Instagram and Facebook, and I also do the markets, the artisans traveling markets, which are
Okay. But
amazing.
no souvenir shops or anything like that.
No, not as yet.
Yeah,
That is
that kind of stuff would do. I mean, I know the market is bouncing back, but I
right.
can see your stuff being um, doing well in some of the hotel boutiques.
Boutiques, yes. That is also my next stop.
Hmm.
I had a friend call me and say, you need to call this particular shop in particular, and they do support a lot of local artisans, so I'm going to check them. And then of course, best of books for the journal, etc. But I'm very pleased with the response for this season. Given COVID, it's a lot of people
Yes,
out at the markets and supporting the small businesses. So it's a huge help, especially when Megan, the Samuel Fields group is doing stuff like this as well. It adds to the momentum for small businesses. It makes a huge
absolutely. You need as much visibility as you can get. That's a
Yeah,
very impressive
absolutely.
line. And I think once the market reopens, especially as our tourism industry begins to open more, and all of the trends point to visitors now looking for more specialized experiences. They're looking for more meaning. So I can imagine products like yours that have such a strong story behind it, will do well if it's positioned strongly, and you can you can make that connection
yeah,
with people's emotions.
yeah. Well, I refer to myself as a soulpreneur.
Okay,
Love it.
Mhm.
I've heard it
Solopreneur.
all.
Kiss
Okay.
with the
That's what
soul.
you are.
Butterfly
That's
kisses with the
great.
For the
soul.
That's
soul.
great.
Love it.
Joan,
Love
how
it.
about your book? I want to scoot over to Joan because we are getting close to the end of our show. Joan, do you have a copy of your book? We want to give you an opportunity as
Do I
well to
have a
promote
copy of
the
my book?
books
What
with an
kind of
S.
question is that? So this is my book, baby, 1 year old. This is the premium
Oh.
edition, which is full color. It has some beautiful diagrams in it. So Dave, I hooked up with some real creatives. I told them what my models were and said,
Right.
go away and make them look pretty for me.
And
Nice.
Joan, let me just say this, right? Because I am the graphics queen. I said to Megan, I don't know if she took my message accurately. I said, Joan is blowing up with her infographics. Whoever is doing your work, they really understand, they really have connected with you. I mean, your stuff is outstanding.
Thank you so
Very,
much.
very.
Megan is smiling because she knows that I do experiment. If I need something quickly or it's for a really specific purpose, Gamal Goodwin is my go to guy. I mean, he gets me. He's my work husband, right? And I tell him what it is I want to communicate. And invariably, he'll give me three concepts, but he already knows which one I'm going to pick,
Hmm.
right?
Nice. Nice.
And so the daily social media posts, though, Doreed, I have taught myself Canva. So the stuff you see, and Dave, because I know you sometimes respond to my stuff as well. So what you see in social media, that's me. But when you
Oh,
see like a
wow.
special promotion, that's Gamal all the way.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. Nice.
No, I want to mention something spectacular that I've been working on, and something I want to share with you, Sally, because it's this need that I identified. Because you have to listen, right? When we creatives, as much as we love to create, the entrepreneurs in us need to have a market for what we create, right? And so we have to really be listening and gathering information about our target audience to figure out what it is that they want, what it is that they need. So, I mean, you guys know that part already. I'm not talking to Dave now because he has no problem with this, but this is for us ladies. We tend to be reluctant to ask. Dave ain't got no problem going up to a millionaire and asking him, you
Oh
know,
no.
for something,
Uh-huh.
right?
Oh, not at
We
all.
need to get over this reluctance that we have. And
Yes.
if you don't want to take my word for it, it's biblical. Ask and ye shall receive, seek and
Amen.
ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. And
Trust
notice
me,
what
those
those
things are on my
three,
vision board.
and notice what those three:
Nice.
ask,
But
seek,
use them. Use them.
Yeah,
ask. That spells out ask again. So
yeah.
they really mean we must ask for what we want. And as women, we tend to self-censor, right? And so my latest work of love, my latest project is Caribbean Women Rising. And this is a program that I've designed specifically for women. It's not just for Caribbean women, but hey, I'm a Caribbean woman and most of the people I love are Caribbean women. So I've named it for us, but women from anywhere in the world can be a part of the process. And the thing is, what got us to where we are now in terms of the level of professional success that we have won't get us to the next level. Because once you get to a certain place on the ladder, the game changes.
Mm-hmm.
And we are still playing by the old rules. So, for example, we think that humility is what we should aspire to. Not if you want to get into those top. Dave Ray look humble to you.
Not at all.
You
No.
gotta
He's a nice guy, but
you
humble, I don't
know.
know.
So we have to become more comfortable blowing our own horns. We think if we do good work, other people will notice and talk about it. So we don't have to talk about it ourselves. BS, ladies. Right? I remember when I met my husband, I mean, in the getting to know you phase, he tells me, oh, he does ballroom dancing and he sings very well and he plays squash and he plays this and I was like, what an opinionated man. Right. So I said to him, my grandmother taught me that self-praise is no kind of praise at all. Right. So he said, you think I can wait for somebody else to blow my own horn? I blowing it myself.
There
And
you
I
go.
thought about it, and I was like, he onto something here. So, ladies, we need to learn to blow our own horn
Yep.
and to do so with confidence. Not only that, we need to set up orchestras, but we play the lead in the orchestra. But we
Hmm.
bring in other people to say how fabulous we are, not to rely on them, but we set the script. We tell them what it is we want to accomplish, what's the message we want to get out there, and then we send them forward. Right? Another thing that men do better than we do is leverage relationships. And even hearing that, you may have a little cringe inside. Ooh, leveraging relationship. That sounds so manipulative. Dave didn't have a problem with it, and he knew exactly what I meant when I said it. Right? We cultivate relationships. We're very good at cultivating relationships, but then we don't go on and ask for what we want. Right? There's a book, How Women Rise. It's a fantastic book, and it contrasts how women navigate in the corporate world versus how men do it. And there's a story about a lawyer. She had joined the firm at the same time with a whole, because they usually bring them in batches.
Right.
And all the men had been made partner. And she was still there to the point where she was thinking of leaving the firm because she's like, they don't appreciate me. And she had a talk with her managing partner and said she was going to leave. And he was like, why? She was like, everybody who came in with me has made partner and I'm still here. He was like, I didn't know you wanted to be partner. She mean, what do you mean you didn't know? Of course I want to be partner. He says, you've never said it. The guy said it the first day they showed up here. So we knew from day one that's what they wanted. I thought you were happy in the role that you have.
Wow.
We can't be vexed with them about that because we never asked. We never said what we wanted. We just did like a good worker bee, figuring, oh, they're going to notice I'm doing good work and reward me. Uh-uh. No. So in Caribbean Women Rising, we debunk those myths and we tell the women what Dave already knows in terms of what's required for you to succeed at the highest level. And it's a community so that we support each other, we share experiences. One of my taglines is the struggle is real, but so are the solutions.
Mm,
Yeah, like
And
that.
so we
I like
develop
that.
solutions and we share them and we learn and grow together.
Megan, Joan, thank you so much for
Lovely.
that. That was very inspirational. I really, really hope that our guests, I'm sorry, our listeners and viewers are taking note.
They
All of our
guess too
guests have
because they
such
guess to taking
interesting
notes.
stories and such great advice and expertise to offer. But Megan, do we have any questions at this point or any comments we need to
No,
address?
I think everybody is just soaking everything in. There's no comments on the board at this time.
That's highly unusual.
Yes. But I have a question, Joan.
Mhm.
How can someone join the group, Caribbean Women Rising?
Okay, thank you for that question. So, of course, you can check me out on social media. You can also, so I'm using an online platform to deliver this program. So it's a combination of self-paced learning and live sessions, right? And you can find me at UTDS maximizer school. And I'm hoping that Alea can throw it up in the chat. So it's UTDS maximizer school.teachable.com, or go on to my LinkedIn, Joan H. Underwood, Facebook, again, my name, Instagram, again, my name, joan.h.underwood, or you can check out my website, utdsinc.com. So I'm still taking late registration, but don't delay too much because we have our official launch on the 3rd of January. And you need to be there from the beginning because we're forming a community. We're making the journey together. So you have a few days left. You can also just reach out to me via email, jhunderwood@gmail.com, and just let me know that you're interested and I'll provide all the information that you need. We're keeping the cohort small because we want it to be an intimate learning group so that you can feel comfortable, you can feel safe, because it requires you to show some vulnerability, to share what you're struggling with, right? Showing vulnerability requires courage, but if you don't show that courage, you're not going to move out of your comfort zone. And the thing that's on the horizon of your comfort zone is the fear zone. But guess what? Once you cross over the fear zone, that's where the learning and the growth take place. And so the intention is that we support each other. We're marching out of that comfort zone, going right through the fear and getting to the learning and development and the growth.
Thank you so much for that. Folks, we are so beyond time, but this has been
So
such a
good.
riveting
So good.
experience with the cross pollination of knowledge from different quarters. I want to begin to wind down, and we want to give all of our guests an opportunity to share their closing remarks or some liquor idea. This is a show about sharing ideas. And as we always say, if I have an idea, Megan,
And you have an idea.
that's great. We both have an idea, but it's when we bring those ideas together that those eureka moments begin to happen, and we begin to learn from each other and motivate each other.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Sally, let me start with you. Closing words, little idea, advice.
I think for me, one of the most important things is feeling the fear and working through it, and knowing that there are challenges in life, but with each challenge, take the lesson. Don't put yourself down. Don't beat yourself up. Be gentle with yourself, but move forward and take the lesson with you. always find the lesson, always find the positivity, the silver lining, because that's what's going to carry you through the next one. Because every time we think we're going through the rough time in our life and we get through it, there's a reason why we got through it and why we made it. And we need to remember that, so that when we're faced with it again, we know that we have the strength and we have the fortitude to do it. Whether we're doing it alone or we have people helping to rise us up and push us along, always remember the lesson. Remember, how you felt, how you worked through it, what you did, and pull back on that and be resilient and feed off of that for the next time. And just
That's
do it.
great. Thank you so much for that.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Dave, let's hear your final word, your parting idea.
So my final word is one. I endorsed everything Joan said. As a matter of fact, I wanted to say we need another program such as this with this same crew, because there's so many other things that we can discuss. Because I'm hearing Joan speak a lot of my language.
Oh yeah.
In terms of speaking for what you want and not approach things from an emotional standpoint, but with your set goals in mind. For example, if you're going to ask for partnership in a law firm, you have to show what you bring to the table, what you brought to the table, what value you have to bring to the table. Supposing I'm here a long time, this is what I bring. Sometimes you have to remind your counterparts what you're worth, and only you can do that. And on a quick note, I'm very shy. You guys may not believe that, but
Really,
I'm
Dave?
very, very shy.
I'm Santa Claus.
However, but I prefer
I believe you, Dave.
Yeah, but you know what? I prefer to play my own instruments, and so
That's
that
right.
is why I step forward, forget about the fear, and I'm doing a program in February, I think February 26th, called The Power in You. It's a 6-week program, 2 nights a week on Zoom. So if you guys want to be a part of it, you can reach out to me at my email address. We're going to be marketing it very soon. I already have like 4 people who I coach, so they're also helping me to market this program called The Power in You. And a lot of times, a lot of us, we are delayed by things because of fear, and we can overcome these things. Okay. So I also quickly want to share my Elam products, and I want to say that the product line I showed you earlier comes with a tote bag.
Oh,
Beautyworks
okay.
products,
Nice.
and this you
Oh,
can
that's
take for
beautiful.
lunch. It's a very strong tote bag, and it also comes with all the products and its ingredients and tell you how to use them. It comes in the bag. And then we have our Elam products, which I'm speaking about quickly. That's my male line, although I hear some females are using it. But it's my male line. Yeah, it's a line of shampoo, facial products, and it's Elam products. If you look at the word Elam, you see the word male. It's just
Yeah.
male spelled backwards. So Elam's gentleman's line also has a website, elamproducts.com, or go to daverayenterprises.com, my website. And it has 5 products. You don't have to buy all 5. It comes in a beautiful bag such as this. And it has the name of each of the products are the names of my grandsons. So we have the Eli Invigorate. We have the Jeremiah Energizer, which is a conditioner. We have the 3-in-1, a body wash, a shaving cream, and a conditioner all in one. We have a Josiah Shave Soother. That's my youngest grandson. After you shave, you can feel your legs, your face, whatever. And then there also is a beard oil. And in this package comes for your next order. After ordering it this time, you get a 10% discount on your next order. So it comes in the package.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So this is all we have. This is what I'm sharing. And I hope that people you can go to Elam, remember it's male spelled backward, elamproducts.com or daverayenterprises.com. And I really enjoy being here. I hope that I want to add one more thing. Sally, I listened to you and my creative mind was working just like the read mind does. I was thinking, instead of going to those artisan shows all the time, you need to create your own expo, your own show. You have sufficient products that you can have an evening, an afternoon, where people can just get some. Don't give them any liquor, just give them lemonade and let them come by and see your display and let them purchase on the spot. And you can do that once. It's like more like a trunk show, like a sort of
Yes,
pop-up
yes.
shop. And you
Yes.
do that maybe once every 3 months and just invite friends to come by. You'll be
And
surprised.
invite some media too.
There you go. There you go. You see I'm telling you, mine is working. But the audience shows are great, but the focus is not on your stuff. People are just buying
Yes.
from everybody else.
I get
You
you.
want to make the focus on you. And if you have to take orders,
Have
take
your
orders.
orchestra.
There you go. So that's there you
Yes.
go. Play.
Mhm.
I just
Got
think
it.
that's a great idea because you have such a variety of things.
Yes.
See? And
Yeah.
so Joan,
I've been toying with the
Joan,
idea
I
of doing
need
a book
Joan, I
sale.
need an autographed copy of your book, and we're gonna talk about how I get it, and we're gonna move forward from there. But I want to be able to refer people to your program as well. So
Yes.
thank you guys for this
Fantastic.
opportunity. I just love the direction you guys are going. I was able to listen to your the Liquor Bite 20 ideas being advertised on Voice of the People this morning. And they repeated it quite a few times, so that was really nice. So we're gaining traction, and
Yes,
We
I'm
we
are.
happy.
are.
We
Yes,
are.
we are. You just have to
Definitely.
put things in
Definitely.
motion.
And I
Little
wish
by little.
everybody
Little
a
by
happy
little.
Little
holiday,
by little.
happy
Little by
Thank
holidays,
you,
little.
Merry
Dave.
Christmas, season's greetings. Love all of you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Love you
Joan,
too.
thanks, Dave. Joan, you're up next for your
Yes.
last liquor idea.
I'm all the time. I've been thinking, okay, which one do I go with? Because there's so much that I'd like to share. But okay, so I'm gonna bring it down because the creatives have spoken. So I'm gonna come with something really practical. At the end of the day, um, be very clear on your why. Okay, your purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? And that's one of the things we actually start Caribbean Women Rising with that, having people think deeply in terms of, okay, what does success look like for you? In visual, and I'm big on visualizations. Visualize yourself as being wildly successful. What does that look like? What are you doing? What does it feel like? All right. And so in order to then after we've done that, we then start exploring, how do I get there from here? How do I get to that image of success from where I am today? And one of the things that you absolutely have to do in order for that to happen is to get people to know you, to like you, and to trust you. All right. So Dave has made sure that we know about him and his product lines. He's extremely personable. So he expects that we're going to like him. And he has put in the hard work to build up his credibility over the years so that we trust him. So know, like, and trust. And you crown that off with consistency. You can't be a flash in the pan. So you're here today and next week when somebody looking for you, they can't find you.
Yep.
So you have to show up consistently. So that would be my little idea that I leave with all the entrepreneurs. Figure out your purpose, figure out your why, define success for you, and then set about getting people to know, like, and trust you and be consistent with it. And don't forget the reason for the season. Merry Christmas. Be safe, everyone. Have a
Yes.
fabulous time. And I wish you every good thing that you wish for yourself.
Thank you
Excellent.
so much, Joan.
Thank
Such,
you.
such a logical.
Let me just say that I know all of you already like me.
Dave, you need to get your own comedy show, please. All righty, Megan, you're up next for your parting words.
All right. So I'm going to start off by saying this has been awesome. As usual, it's never a planned script, but it always works out so well. So I am just thankful. Thank you, Joan, Sally, and Dave. This has been awesome. My idea that I want to leave, I'm going the opposite to Joan. I'm hitting the creative side, and I want to encourage everyone to tap into your creativity. And there's no set formula for doing it, but one of the things they say is even go back to your childhood and see what it is that you like doing, and start thinking about that. But the other thing I would say is brainstorm, come up with wild and unusual ideas. Think about, not just outside the box. Don't even have a box. Just come up with your ideas, jot them down, have other persons come up with their ideas, and find out what are all the ways in which I can do whatever it is you want to do. And from all those ideas, you will be surprised that you find that little nugget, the golden nugget, that will take you to the next step. So my encouragement for you for the rest of this year and going into the new year, get into your creative side and see how that can help you with your business. And I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and lots of success in 2022. And look out for what SFCG will be offering, because we are going to be different. We are going to be exciting. We are going to be in your
I love it.
So look out for us.
Fantastic. I think this is the longest show that we've had, but when you have this much knowledge,
come on.
How do you package it any tighter? You really have to allow for all of the ideas and for the concepts to just flow. And I think we were able to do that masterfully here today. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us. I want to remind everyone that on our last show, our grand finale of our first season, will be next Thursday, the 30th of December. It will be our 15th episode. And I cannot believe it, that it's been 16 weeks since I rolled over and said, Megan, you know what? We need to do a weekly show. We really need to do. I rolled over at 5 a.m. and I pitched
and
it
called
to
me
her
about 5:15.
Huh?
And called me about 5:15. Good morning.
And we talked about it like maybe a Tuesday, and by the Thursday we had a show
We were
with
ready
a
to
logo,
go.
a concept, and we just kept expanding and leveraging our circle of influence, our friends and people that we know, and here we are. So for all of the rules that said if you want to launch a show, here are all the boxes you have to check. We too broke that mold because we didn't even check the list. We don't even know how long they said. We just did it. And so here we are 15 weeks later, and we've had, we had an interesting run with such great people. Everyone has something to share. And I always walk away with so much more knowledge than when we got started. So I want to invite everyone back here next Thursday. We're going to invite some of our past guests. And we will also be announcing the winner of our 20 Liquor Bite ideas. There is a prize, $1,000 for the business who meet certain criteria by West Indies Oil. We're grateful for their sponsorship, and also a $500 gift certificate from Food Brokerage Services with lots of goodies that any entrepreneur can use to expand their business. So it's going to be an exciting show next week. We invite everyone to come back. I want to thank our technical team behind the scene, who they keep us on track, make sure that we start on time, and make sure that everything runs well, which we couldn't possibly do on our own. And we want to say it looks like we have a comment, Megan.
Yeah, fantastic show.
Yes.
What's that?
Fantastic show. Yes.
Any more comments besides that?
Well, let me give one before we finish thing. I am looking forward to 2023, and I'm saying 23 for a reason. The SFGC conference in Antigua. I'll be flying down for that conference.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
A 2-day conference where we have the artisans.
Let's do it.
We have the artisans and we have the logical side, presentations.
I love it.
I know we can't probably do it next year.
Dave, we're actually having something in January that's going to begin to tap into some of those attributes. So stay tuned, and I hope you'll join us next week.
I'll be flying down
we have some really great ideas.
face
We are going to have the first FinFet in Antigua. Fin for finance. Fet, we know what that means.
Hey.
So we're looking to do a FinFet in
Sally, Dr. Gittins are giving you some sales. Sally.
Woo! I need a couple of journals tomorrow. I will call Sally. Call away, Dr. Gittens.
Fantastic. See? Well, listen, folks, let's get back to our Christmas preparations. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a prosperous 2022. Let's keep striving. This is a show about financial literacy and financial empowerment, but we find very interesting ways to position it because financial wellness is about being in balance. If you're not well in other aspects of your life, you will not have that balance, and your finances, as we've seen throughout this pandemic, can certainly dictate the course for a lot of things that we do in other aspects of our life. Dave, I just want to share this last thing. Dave keeps telling me that I named his second book. I do not recall the conversation. He tells me this over and over again. He came into my office talking about some book, and I remember having a conversation.
So what's the name of it?
He keeps telling me. So sometimes just running your mouth, sometimes you're sharing nuggets and you don't even know.
Don't even know. Yes.
I said customer service. I was writing a book on customer service back then. And I said, customer service is what? And I kept saying, she called me back into her office. She says, customer service is the three ellipses. Dot. And let me tell you something. This book, I don't know if you guys know, but did you tell them the book made the New York Times best-selling list?
Yes, I forgot. Yes.
2020, right before the pandemic, the first quarter. Actually, this was the only book in this category. And when my production person called me to say in October of the year before, said that they've selected your book by New York Times. When he calls, it means he wants money. So I said, what is it going to cost me? He said, nothing. They actually called and said they want to feature your book. Your book is so to the point. And this book has been published since 2010.
Wow.
2010 is when Dorit named this book. And this book, they only discovered this book 9 years later.
Wow.
So you just have to keep your visibility.
That's a story right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to keep visibility. Right, you have to stay relevant so people can recognize your work.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, we're going to get you and Joan to help us write the Little Bite Ideas book too.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well, folks, back to work. I'm sure we all have things to do, and Christmas is upon us. Remember, to our guests, if you're still not fully covered as far as the gifts on your list, we have 20 little gift ideas that I'm sure you can find something on our list to meet your needs. Go to our website, samuelfieldsconsulting.com. It'll tell you where the list is. You click on that bar and you will see our attractive flippable ebook. It's a gift guide which lists all of the businesses on our 20 little gift ideas list. So be sure to reach out to these vendors and get something authentic, one of a kind, unique, and something that your guests will definitely be wowed by. We're over and out. Another edition of Liquor Bite Ideas. Thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
And a bright and prosperous 2022.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.